So this is, I always have to check the date. 4/7/2023. I'm Diane Barrett with the BE Collection. I'm here with Barbara Embick. We're talking about her coming out story. So thank you for being here. And if you would start with your career and where you're located currently.
Yeah, I'm in Gilbert, South Carolina. I've been here about 42 years, I guess.
Mhm.
I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and I worked at a big law firm here in South Carolina called Nelson Mullins for the last 21, 22 years. That's where I retired from.
Mhm. And were you born in South Carolina, or did you come there with your family?
No, I was born in Pennsylvania, and I came here for a job opportunity. I worked as a consultant for a company in Pennsylvania, and they sent me on an assignment to a nuclear plant down here, and the rest is history. I stayed.
Huh, you fell in love with it.
Yep.
And moved.
I guess I honestly thought the politics would change over time, and maybe have some kind of role in making that change, and but it's getting worse instead of better, and so yeah.
That's true. I'm concerned about that, even in terms of the collection, people coming out. Maybe people don't want to talk about coming out.
Well, I don't think we can go back in the closet, so
No, not at all. Nor would I want to.
yeah. So some younger people who are definitely in careers and stuff may have some reservations about talking, depending what state they're from.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully that's not the case, though.
Right.
Hopefully they're going to do like we did back in the 70s and stuff, and protest against things that they don't believe in, and I think we're seeing that happen. So I hopefully they engage and get the government to get some people in the government to understand that their views are not popular. So
when did you, for yourself, know that you were a lesbian or attracted to women versus men, or wanting to try options?
yeah, that's kind of weird. I was pretty much a tomboy when I was a kid, and as a teenager played a lot of sports and stuff like that, and certainly fell in love with my second grade teacher, and fell in love with my 10th grade math teacher, and there was probably
women. These
yeah,
people these
women, yeah.
Okay.
And there was probably even a nun or so in there at some point, that I had a lot of reverence for. But as a teenager and stuff, I just really didn't think about relationships so much.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a male friend that I cared a lot about, and probably, I've said this before in other forums, but I definitely loved that man. I mean, it's the only guy I've ever really loved. But I'll tell you more about that as I'm telling the coming out story. But
I'll just let your story flow.
Yeah.
Now you're well prepared, right?
But yeah, I mean, we were great friends and did a lot of things together. We were both outdoorsy and hiked a lot and stuff. And then I moved away from that area of Pennsylvania. When I was a senior in high school, we moved about 3 hours away from there, and went to college, dated some guys and stuff. But I always knew that I didn't want to get married, that I didn't want to be married to a man.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want somebody, some guy telling me what I could do and what I couldn't do, or anything like that. And so things just kind of evolved, and I went to work, and one of the people there well, we were involved with a lot of things, like we played volleyball and stuff. And one of my guy friends there was definitely gay, and he kept trying to talk me into going to this dance bar in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I kept saying, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Though all of us that played volleyball together and stuff, I mean, it was men and women. We all enjoyed dancing and having a good time and stuff like that.
Sounds like fun.
It was great. Yeah. We had it's funny. I worked at a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and it was one of the only business kind of buildings like on the main street in Allentown, and there was a parking lot behind, and that's where we played volleyball. And we also had a bowling league, and we all bowled together. Well, anyhow, I ended up moving into an apartment, and there were two women that lived upstairs from me, and they were gay. And one was a Black woman and the other one was a white woman. And they were just super cool, very progressive, real smart. We had lots of good conversations and stuff like that. And I don't know, I guess they saw something in me that I didn't. And, they wanted me to meet one of their friends and stuff like that. No, I didn't want to do that. So at that point, like, I'm in my early 20s, 22, probably 23, and it was more curiosity than anything, and just kind of learning more about it and stuff like that.
Was that the 70s?
Yes.
The 80s? The 70s.
Yes, the 70s. So that would be around probably 1974, 1975, something like that. And I was politically active, I was a big anti-Vietnam War protester, and several other things, and just kind of got involved. And anyhow, the guy at work finally talked me into going to the dance bar with him. And it actually was called the Stonewall as well, but it was in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I don't know, something sparked there, and I was like, okay, I think I might like women more than
really. Something sparked while you were at the bar.
Yeah, just it was very everybody was free and open, not free, and it wasn't a kind of bar that that there was a lot of sex or anything like that going on there. It was just a dance bar.
Right.
And so these women would ask me to dance, and I was having a good time and everything. And then the fellow's name was George, and George kept saying, do you want to go back? Do you want to go back? No, I don't know if I want to go back. So time went on, and I was hanging out with the women upstairs and doing things with them. And then I found out about this woman's bar in over near Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So Allentown and Bethlehem are right next to each other. And Rosemary's, it was called Rosemary's. And if anybody that's watching this that ever went to Rosemary's, wasn't it a great place? It was just a cool place. So I decided that I wanted to hang out with women more, and so I started playing billiards. Something that would have me in there. I was very shy. Something that would have me in there, and but I could be occupied and not have to, I don't know, really talk to anybody or anything like that.
But still you were interacting.
Yeah. And so I was kind of doing that work, and at the time I was shooting wedding photography. I was doing a lot of that, so I didn't have a lot of free time outside of work and stuff like that, because I was processing photos and stuff like that. So then George asked me one more time, do you want to go dancing?
He's
And
determined.
I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go like Friday night or something like that. Well, a woman picked me up.
Ah.
So I willingly went though, but obviously. But she invited me, picked me up in the sense of, got me to agree to like go do something with her. Not like that I went home and had wild sex with her or something like that, but
You knew she was interested.
yeah. So and we ended up in fact, you know what? I think it was Good Friday.
Really?
When
So
we
you're
were
having an
there.
anniversary reaction today.
Yeah, I
Friday.
do. I really think it was Good Friday.
All right.
And she invited me to come back. So we were out really late. We didn't have to work the next day. She invited me to come back to her apartment. And I did. And we just talked and stuff like that. And then I went home. And a week or two later, she called me on the phone. She had children.
Mhm.
She had a couple children. She was single, but she had a couple children. A week or two later, she called me on the phone and asked me if she could come over. And she did. And anyhow, the rest of this history, I've been a lesbian ever since. So
Did you stay with her as a couple?
no, we saw each other off and on, but she was the I don't even know what they call them today. I guess concierge. She was the hostess at a high-end restaurant in Allentown, and she had children, and her concern was being discovered, and so it kind of played out. And then in the meantime, at Roseberry's, I got on a pool league, and I met the first woman I was with then in a relationship. And so anyhow, it was, I actually probably didn't meet her until probably around 1977, something like that. Because in the meantime, I had gone out to Colorado to visit my friend from my teenager years, my guy friend, Sam. His name was Claire, but his nickname was Sam. And anyhow, we always thought we loved each other in a biblical sense, but the truth of the matter is the connection was that we were both gay.
Right.
So
it was
we kind of,
right.
Yeah, so we spent several weeks out there. Actually, I took a sabbatical from work and was out there about 4 or 5 weeks, and in Colorado. And we did all kinds of things, hiking up the mountains, up to Estes Park, up, Rocky Mountain National Park, Red Rocks. I mean, we did the whole thing. And he was going to go into the University of Boulder out there. And so we came out to each other that we were both gay. And anyhow.
Was that fun? Did you
Yeah,
laugh?
it was fun.
Yeah. That's great.
I
have
lost
contact with any of these men?
Pardon?
Do you have contact with any of those men?
Well, Sam actually had AIDS and died in 88. So, yeah, that was pretty. And we were from a small town in Pennsylvania. And one thing I have to say is parents did right. They went and got him, brought him home. And so he passed away at home. But yeah, it was a very sad.
Yes.
I have things. I have pictures in here. I have this is weird. I'll show you this. Can you see this?
Oh, okay. What does it say?
Basically, it's a limb, and Sam carved it into a knife one time.
I see, huh?
And yeah, I have written on the back of it, this is my memorial to him.
You wrote on?
Yeah, I wrote Claire's parentheses, Sam Lewis carved and gave to me 1968. He died from AIDS in the late 80s. He remains dear to my heart. But
that's beautiful.
He was my best.
Take a picture of that and we'll put it in your interview.
Okay. But yeah. So and it's funny, in today's world, probably the people that I'm closest to are a gay guy, Jim Blanton, that I was on the Pride March with the year we founded it, and a guy from my old employment. In fact, I just had lunch with him the other day. Those are my closest. They're like my buddies. So I guess
right,
I always
friends.
had male buddies.
Me too.
And then, you know, and I have several women friends. I'm not currently in a relationship. I haven't been for a while, and that's okay, I guess. I'm getting along, but yeah, so it's nothing glorious.
Are there any homosexuals in your family?
Yes, I have a couple cousins, male and female, that are gay, on my father's side of the family.
And how did your parents respond to your coming out, so to speak?
So the relationship, the woman that I met playing billiards, we were in a relationship for quite a while, and I grew up Italian Catholic and felt guilty about not telling my parents, and so decided that I had to confess, you know. And my mother was a very devout Catholic, and she did not what I expected her to do. Well, I expected half of it, but her reaction was she went to see the priest. I kind of expected her to do that.
Did you actually tell her that you were a lesbian, or?
Yeah.
Right.
And both my parents, my mother and my stepfather. My father had passed away earlier in my life. He passed away when I was a teenager. But anyhow, they went to see the priest, and the priest said, basically, do you love your daughter? Yes. Well, that's all that matters. And she was pretty good about it, for the most part.
So she came back and told you that?
Yes. Yes.
That's a good story.
But nevertheless, I ended up moving from Pennsylvania to South Carolina because my sister had one child. She had another one on the way. And I don't know, I just felt like it was something that I didn't want them to all have to live with. And so when a job opened up down here, I decided to take it. And if I had it to do over again, I don't think I would have done that. I would have moved. But the reality was that, you know, I hadn't really accepted my sexuality yet. So
I was talking to somebody the other day. I think coming out is an ongoing process. And
I agree.
Happen when you're 15 or 25 or whatever, you know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm currently, I think I told you that I have Parkinson's.
Did you? Yeah.
I'm currently doing rehab, and I'm currently working with a group called Rocksteady Boxing. And I think the group here is fairly Christian oriented. Not that that's a bad thing, but it does give me pause to be who I am necessarily, you know. Like I would never say anything there about being gay. Though there's a woman there that has purple hair, and she's pretty cool.
And she's what?
She's pretty cool.
You're right.
I mean, she's got to be fairly progressive thinking if she dyed her hair purple, right?
I know, good for her.
But yeah, I do think coming out is is a lifelong thing,
Mhm.
especially for us, you know, in our age group
Right.
and stuff. Because we know what it's like to have to be in the closet, and we know, you know, the repression that people can instill upon you because of your sexuality. So yeah, I would like to think that the younger generation will have a much better path, though I don't think that will be true for transgender people. It just it just scares me really badly for transgender people.
No, me too. So thank you. So have a good day and
You too.
all right, bye.
Bye bye.